So I've been wanting to touch on this topic earlier today, but it's just been a very busy day for me, and I'm not able to get to it. Actually, I do have two supposedly today. Um, I want to get through this one first, though, before I get to the other one, depending how long this discussion is, because I really want to touch on it, and it's very important that I bring this up. That there may be, you know, there may be a sooner than later chance that I may reconnect actively with Russell and Duy. As you know, in the past week or so, I've been able to reconnect with Neil and actually hanging out with him on the last day of May, right? That was a good hangout. We actually hung out as well on the last day of April. We didn't really actively, have much contact at the time, but just for the sake of my ongoing last day of the month historic run, it's always good to see him available, and as well as for just the past Saturday, the 31st, with him also being available. It's a much better hangout, though, and from there, like since that hangout, like going to the beginning of June, I already started reconnecting with my friend circle, some of my friends. Surprisingly enough, I just popped right back in the group chat, one of the group chats, and I have a whole bunch of them. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I have like 40 made, and it's about probably 14, if my mind serves me correctly. And just a bunch of active group chats, both me and Russ. But anyways, I started reconnecting with some of the guys, like it was a boss, and then Julio, and then Nathan, and then Carlos, just about a few days ago. It turns out that the YouTuber who has been, asking why I was hiding, or don't be scared, and the Wes Watson thing, that was actually Carlos after all. So I didn't know. But I understand it's YouTube. Everybody will have like totally, different usernames that are so not related to their name. And even if it does, I see a bunch of Carlos names out there. I've also seen a bunch of Ray names out there, you know what I'm saying? So I just thought I'd bring that out there. So anyways, I started reconnecting with some of these guys. I did hang out with Julio last Thursday, good one. And we've had some pretty deep conversations. And next thing you know, right after I dropped him off, I did call a boss, the first guy I called. And I figured it was nice to call the guy, after a really nice long hangout with Julio, that I figured I should start reconnecting with the boss too. And we got a nice long conversation, you know what I'm saying? So we shall see each other soon, because he's got, the next couple of weeks, I think I've had the best chance to see him. So it's coming soon, mid-June. But let me just get straight to this, because like I said, I really want to touch on this topic that is concerning, my friendship with Russ and Duy. Obviously, I have not removed them off of my avoid friend circle list, right? Just to sound friendly here. I know how very, very engaged Russ and Duy are when it comes to engaging in so much friendship activity. I also know how very energetic and with such high-spirited energy that Russ has. And Duy, to a certain extent, is pretty talkative in that, he just most of the times would love to take charge of, when he wants to do the next hangouts, asking some people, including myself, to call him. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, I mean, as I'm still having thoughts about trying to to what's the right word that I'm looking for, to maybe to revive the Nutbwallers group, you know, even though I'm the franchise guy, I'm the one that founded the group in 2006. If I or I could probably say like, yeah, 2006, 2005 actually. Sorry, Nutbwallers since 2005. I should have known. So despite me being the founder of the group, despite me being the quote unquote leader of the group, and despite a boss being one of my OG friends, right? One of my I guess he was the only remaining OG friend from the Nutbwallers that I have since I lost Robbie as a friend, due to the group text incident, and obviously Chris, who's just pretty much faded out. And I asked him if he wanted to hang out to just shoot hoops, and never responded. So I guess he just has his own issues to deal with as well. So Boss remains the only OG friend I have left from the Nutbwallers. But yeah, despite him being the OG and all, I think that Russ and Duy, I think they're the guys that would actually be the center core of when with this group, as far as like the functionality, the consistency, the good vibes, the bringing the Nutbwallers energy. And let me tell you why. I think both of those guys, and especially Russ with his eye energy, he will talk so much about, how much he enjoys being in the group. He'll talk about a lot of sports and all that. Listen, as much as I want to say that that Boss and I are like the OGs of the Nutbwallers, with whoever I have, I think this group, with what it is, just as I just barely reconnected with them, I don't think it would have had its consistent like Nutballer energy without Russ and Duy when I see them active, when when they see me there, as they're being active themselves. I think it just takes those two guys to really keep this group going, because of their because of their consistent friendship activity, as far as being engaged in the group chats, and also with the rest just really loving to talk so much, as mostly when it comes to sports, and obviously the NBA. I'll see, like, sometimes I'll see like 10 to 20 messages on my phone, and I see that it will be Russ just going back and forth with either Dewey or a boss, Carlos, So look, not that there's anything. I mean, not that the other guys aren't doing a single thing, to keep this group alive. I'm not saying that about guys like Carlos and Julio and Neil, and I'm not saying that about them. I just think, like, when Russ and Dewey are there, they're the ones that keep the Nutballers energy alive. I even I think Russ would really he just has so much passion. Like, I think to me sometimes when I see him on, like, talking to me individually or just on the group chats, sometimes I just think he just has the most passionate Nutbwallers energy, because he'll just go out there and be like, yeah, the Nutbwallers, this and that, and Dewey is the manager of this group, or Jay, you're the leader of the Nutbwallers. Let's just keep this group afloat, this and that, when things are going well, right? And as for Dewey, you know, um, he'll be out there and just asking, hey, I would love to hang out with you guys, this and that. Sometimes he'll be the boss of, just doing hangouts, certain hangouts. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to me, like, as much as I miss them, like, as far as, like, my being actively communicating with them, I just kind of miss them right now, in the sense that they're the ones that are going to keep this group afloat and going the way that it was even before the group text incident, and sometimes even after that, to Russ's credit. So, and personally for me, they actually serve as a good distraction for me. You know what I'm saying? I know Julio's got some other things going on, and it was nice to hang with him and all that. I know he's got other things to deal with his life as well, and obviously Carlos does not. I just barely reconnected with Carlos, and sometimes he will call me here and there. And Neil, he's just whenever I want to ask him to hang out, I'll just hit him up. Like, hey, what's up? You want to hang out? Like, yeah, sure. And then the boss, same thing. Sometimes he'll call, but I think, like, especially with what I'm going through still, and really just trying to fight off some of these anxious feelings that I'm still having. What the psychiatrist has described as my ongoing feeling as severe anxiety. I think it's gonna have to take somebody like a Rico, who would, like, I haven't heard from him lately, but it would be nice, somebody like him who can really keep me distracted. He'll like, I remember when we talked sometime last year, he would ask me about, hey, how's your job hunting going? And then I was like, yeah, it's all right, this and that. Sometimes I kind of have to BS my way through, knowing that, so he, like, because I know how Rico is, like, he's that dude that just will just do anything to just push me so much, like he did when he was my former coworker, to becoming a better graphic designer, to make me take graphic design more seriously and at a whole new level. I know it's going to take a whole lot, because I remembered he did ask me to, suggesting that I should learn UI and UX interface design, in which I kind of started doing, through a couple of videos, and like, I haven't heard from him since, but I know he's asking me a couple of times, hey, you're still learning interface design? And I was like, yeah, still am. And it's just he's given me a whole lot. That one time he's like, hey man, you gotta have a real talk with yourself and see if if you really want to invest in becoming a better designer. Revamp your portfolio or your resume, and start preparing yourself for the future for a lot better you know, having a portfolio link, website, this and that. Yeah, people like him who could probably push me, you know, just a lot harder. And somebody like him, and that's why I said I think Russ and Duy would be a good distraction for me, because I know that I'm always aware at any given time. Russ will ask, hey Jay, can I give this to you or something like that, or he'll just talk about anything that's happening in the sports world, or whatever happens in this particular NBA game that just happened, tonight or yesterday, or and during the game, and you know, and just being in the group chats. Hey guys, this is the and but I think and Dewey would be, sometimes I'll, like most of the times he'll just text me and say, hey Jay, can you do me a favor, this and that. Hey, can you take me to this and that, or hey Jay, call me, I have an idea, call me when you're free, this and that. So I think at this point for me, after what I did to my entire friend circle towards the end of January, I think this would be a good, I don't want to do it right now. I mean, even though I should sometime, like like right now, but I'm gonna probably give it about maybe a few more days. Let's just see how things roll out for me, as this month goes on. I know I'm still going through it, like, just trying to, take advantage of the help that I'm getting and to improving my mental health. But for the most part, I think it'd be good to bring that back. I want to see how much of a difference that would make, especially with a lot of the outside issues I'm still dealing with. Yes, I'm still facing some darkness, but, I don't think I'm really feeling it too much now that I'm reconnected with my friend circle. But like I said, I think like when I see Russ and Duy both, like, in the group chats, it tells me the Nutbwallers group is still pretty much alive, because they're the ones that are going to really keep it going, for the sake of, keeping the group afloat, keeping the Nutballer vibes, as good as they've been every time they're there, And they're the I mean, again, even though Boston and I are the OGs, I think they're the main guys right now. Dewey, especially being the quote-unquote Nutbwallers manager, and Russ being Russ, Russ Enterprise, Russ Broski. They're the ones that are going to keep the group afloat. And I think they would also serve me a good distraction. So I just think that it's going to help. But, let's just see. Let's just give it maybe a couple more days until, if I'm really starting to feel it still, despite what I'm being prescribed to take, then yeah, I think I'm gonna need them. So that's all I gotta say. And I know it's a very, very long topic, a long discussion. So let me know what you guys think. Peace.